by a group of musicians from Soweto. The group consists of 4 classically trained singers whose performances have audiences raving both nationally and internationally. They have a devout following from all corners of South Africa. Their enormous and diverse repertoire ranges from classical opera, classical jazz, African, Afro-pop to contemporary. They are performing this coming weekend at Alice Park in front of 150,000. We are joined by 2 members of the group, Kwena and Lavuyo Mkhweba. Good morning, guys, and welcome.
Yeah, morning. Thank you for having us.
Let's talk about opera and this love, Lavuyo. Where did it start for you, and how did the 4 of you meet and foster and mature this love of all things classical?
We are classical trained from opera theatres. They were in Roodepoort. I was in Cape Town. It was called then Artscape. And then it changed to Cape Town, I think, Cape Town Opera House. And then, we've been talking about it as we used to meet and all that. And we used to talk about, why don't we form a nice group, you know? And instead of, because we love what we are doing, instead of sitting and wait for operas that sometimes you're not sure whether we're going to be involved in the cast, or because, you know, opera, like entertainment is very hard in Johannesburg. So we decided, you know what, let's just have our own group and call it Soweto Opera Quadro. And then, 10 years ago.
No. When you look back, Lavuyo says 10 years like it was just 10 years, but it's 10 years of hard work.
Yes.
Elliot, take me through that formation, and now 10 years later you're performing in front of 150,000 people. Just what is the work, the slog that went into to get this group to where it is today, Elliot?
Yeah, actually the love that we have for the group, it takes us up until now. Since 2003, it wasn't easy. It was a little bit difficult. Now, because of the love that we have for the music, now it takes us up until this far. And for more information, we've been performing to different corporates, internationally and locally. And you know, we've got a good response to most of the people that we perform. And we you know what we did? We said we wanted to commercialize this music because you know that opera has a limited audience. Now we said we wanted to take it from white people and black people. And since then, it gave us a good response.
Lavuyo, talk to me about the different members, because as I'm looking, you all seem to have very different personalities. Yeah? And talk to me, who does what in the group and who plays what role?
Look, in terms of organization of the group, we all do more or less same thing. Like we market ourselves, because we are staying in different parts of Johannesburg. And we also doing our own things besides the group, like we're also into businesses, you know, we do our businesses outside the group. Just because we are old, my man, and we need to make money, we need that dough, you know. So what happens is that Bokang, he gets all the gigs and Eddie, and then in terms of organizing the transportation and when we've got performances and all that, we make sure, me and Elliot, to make sure that, look, we are on time, what time is the gig and the directions and everything.
So you're organized?
Yes.
Okay, Thanksgiving is in stores at the moment.
Yes.
And
Yes.
What are you, from an oral perspective, what have you given your fans, new audiences?
Yeah, actually we give our fans what they've been asking for. They've been asking for a long time, because when are you releasing? And now we're having a gospel classic album, which is out there. And on this CD, we have featured Deborah Fraser.
Yeah.
We have featured Soweto String Quartet. We have Monde from Idols and other artists. And, you know, also just to add on there, to working with those kind of artists, it has given us a good experience. And because of the first album, we featured few, but now we featured most of the artists that people love in South Africa. And we know that it will give us what I can say, more good music in our album.
When you seen as an operatic foursome,
yes,
and you delve into other elements like we mentioned some of the things that you, classical jazz, African, Afro-pop, contemporary. How difficult is, or how easy is it to stay true to form, to make sure that whatever comes out, even that it might not be comfortable with Elliot, but you still have to deliver the best and make sure that every performer in the group hits the right notes, because you have your preference, Elliot's got his preference, the other guy has a preference. How do you decide on what to do, and how do you find that balance?
Look, we find the balance because we are 4 different voices, number one. And number two, we have to understand your audience. South Africa is a very tough audience. Let me tell you, my man. You make one mistake, then they don't buy your music. But we try by all means that, look, this is what they are going to love. And more especially in terms of practicing, we practice thoroughly. And more especially when we're doing when we're recording the album, we had to stay in the studio like 24/7. You can't go out, you can't do anything, because you have to be cautious of your intonation, cautious of the song that you are recording. And then again, you have to understand exactly if they are going to receive it well or not. Now you don't just do things for the sake of doing things. You have to be very, very, very articulative when it comes to that. You know, and South Africa, it's a very difficult audience, but we are doing very well, because we are now selling almost 10,000. We're almost 10,000 copies. Yes, and we released in February.
Yes. So it's incredibly fresh.
February, yes.
Yes,
It's beautiful. People love it.
What is the future for a band like yours? I mean, you've got the album out now. You're performing this week in Alice Park, but from an international perspective, any tours that you're planning internationally?
Yeah, actually, we last did we last did China, and we also did Namibia, and we also did London. And for now, but we only having our South African tours, whereby we perform in Cape Town, Durban, and other provinces. And for the future for the group, I see it's bright, because the response that we get to our audience, it's a positive response. And also it gives us hope that we need to keep on moving, keep on working hard, because you know that music industry is not that easy. You need to put love on it. Whatever difficulties that come across, then you need to make sure that you push and push until you reach your goals.
You're talking about traveling internationally, but also locally. You've performed for the late Simba Maris at his funeral, and I think that must have been an absolutely emotional moment, because so many South Africans had an emotional connection with him through the various programs and the things he was doing.
You know, a night before he passed on, I was with him in Hyde Park in a top deck restaurant, and we were talking business. And then he said, "Look, I'm looking for T-shirts for my kids. Apparently, he's got this home that is supporting." And then we're talking about that, you know. And then he said to me, "I saw you on TV or something. Are you doing TV now, my man, full time?" I said, "Dude, I'm doing TV full time." And it was very emotional when I was supposed to sing in his memorial service, you know. And he was very humble, because I was most of the time I was always with him on weekends when he's doing nothing, you know, and we'll talk about a lot of things, you know, that he wanted to do and all that.
Guys, thank you very much. I know we're going to play out with the Soweto Opera Quadro. The guys here in studio talking to us about the new music and the new album's out, of course. Thanksgiving. They've been around for 10 years. Can you believe it? That's playing to Alice Park, 150,000. We're going to ad break. We're back after this.
Sonke iskhathi